of YouTube. In this video, I'll be talking about my journey building a chatbot. Recently, I was going through a course at WGU C951, I believe, and then I had to build a chatbot for it. So I just wanted to share my insight as far as what I use to build that, as well as just give some tips and tricks that I realized. In part 2 of this series, I will dive more into the actual code, as far as I won't build the actual project itself, but I'll build a chatbot so that you'll have an idea of the different ways you can build one. But anyway, so the agenda for this course is for building your first chatbot. We'll be getting started. We'll understand chatbot fundamentals. We're also going to do patterns and categories, structured conversations, dynamic response and redirect techniques, advanced logic, memory and mapping in chatbots, lessons learned, and best practices. So getting started, the first thing we need to do is understand the chatbot fundamentals. So what is a chatbot and how does it work? So a chatbot definition, right? A chatbot is a software that simulates human-like conversation to engage users effectively. Input processing: chatbots analyze and understand user inputs to interpret user intent correctly. Response generation: chatbots generate relevant replies using scripts or AI technologies to maintain conversation flow. Now, core architecture behind chatbot frameworks. You have an input processing. The chatbots first process user inputs to interpret commands and message accurately. Then you have natural language understanding. NUL enables chatbots to comprehend user intent and content and context effectively. Dialogue management controls conversation flow and response strategies and chatbots. And then output generation. Chatbots generate appropriate response based on processed input and dialogue context. So overview of AIML and its importance. So what is AIML? AIML is an XML-based language used to define conversational rules for chatbots. Now, if you've ever programmed in Java, you've probably seen XML, XML is, the syntax is fairly simple, and you'll see it as we expand on AIML. So the purpose of AIML, it helps developers create structured and manageable chatbot dialogues using defined patterns and responses. So patterns and categories, structuring conversations. Now, the role of category in AIML and chatbot logic. So conversational rule encapsulation. The element encapsulates a single rule linking user input to chatbot response or action in AIML. And then you have the input response association. And it associates specific user input patterns with corresponding chatbot replies or actions for interactive flow. The foundation of chatbot logic. So this forms the basis of chatbot decision making by defining how the bot responds to input. And I'm going to show you all examples of this code. I definitely have some already written on this whiteboard, so we'll get to it in a few. Now, how patterns define user inputs and triggers. So definition of tags. So we have tag identifies the exact phrase or input the chatbot listens for to trigger the response. And then triggering responses is when a user inputs matches the pattern, it activates the appropriate chatbot response within that category. And so here we'll have an example where we'll have a category, and then within that category we'll have a pattern, and that pattern will be, in this case, network engineer. And then we're going to have our open and closing tags, as you can see. So the AIML rule structure uses categories and patterns to match specific user inputs precisely. And you have to remember that. Now, keyword detection. The chatbot listens for the exact phrase network engineer to trigger a relevant response. And then precise input matching. Precise input matching improves chatbot accuracy and relevancy in responses. So now we have dynamic responses and redirection techniques. So using SRAI for response, redirection, and reuse. Now, SRAI is symbolic reduction in artificial intelligence. And this particular tag, so the tag redirects user inputs to another response pattern seamlessly within chatbot workflow. So code reuse efficiency. Using reduces code duplication by reusing existing responses across multiple chatbot interactions. And we'll have more examples of this soon. So we'll create a matching pattern with the tag SRAI, hello, closing tag SRAI, and beyond. So using hello allows the chatbot to redirect similar greeting inputs to a unique response pattern, simplifying conversational flow. This redirection streamlines chatbot conversations by reducing complexity and handling greeting variations. So employing wildcards and complex patterns. For example, tell me about with a star. Okay. So wildcards allow chatbots to match diverse user inputs by capturing variable text parts effectively. Okay, and this gives us increased flexibility. Using wildcards enhances chatbot flexibility by enabling responses to a variety of similar queries. Now, advanced logic, memory, and mapping in chatbots. Utilizing think for silent processing and variable storage. Now, this is something that I had to discover as I was building out my chatbot for a project that I needed for my class. But silent internal processing, it enables the chatbot to process information internally without displaying output to the user. Is used to save variables and prepare context for future chatbot responses. Okay. So now we also have implementing map for role mapping and flexible answers. And the purpose of the tag, it enables linking user inputs to predefined map values for dynamic interpretation. And anything that's normally within a map has a constant lookup time. And so, just having maps to reduce the complexity of your chatbots when you're matching to various types of inputs for said output that you're looking for or dynamic response, maps are definitely effective. All right, so mapping job roles to descriptions help the chatbot provide flexible, context-aware answers. Dynamic input interpretation. Using allows chatbots to dynamically transform user inputs for better response accuracy. So case study, mapping and definitions. Chatbots capture diverse user inputs using variable placeholders to handle dynamic conversations effectively. Okay, another usage technique, data mapping technique. Mapping connects variable inputs to specific responses, improving chatbot accuracy and understanding queries. Enhanced personalization. Mapped data enables chatbots to personalize responses, resulting in more relevant and engaging interactions. Lessons learned and best practices. So challenges faced during the first build. Managing complex AIML structure. Handling intricate AIML coding requires careful organization and attention to detail for effective AI responses. So one of the things that, let's get through this slide and I'll speak on it. Ensuring accurate pattern matching. Accurate matching of input patterns is crucial to trigger the correct AI responses and improve user experience. Debugging conversational flows. Debugging helps identify and fix unexpected responses to create smooth and natural AI conversations. Now, one thing that I did run into when I was getting ready to, one of the biggest tips that I can give you would be write out your entire conversation for every single path in which you would want a user, their flow from the initial hello to the end point of saying, selecting a recipe based on these ingredients or selecting a career path based on these responses. You want to be able to see the conversation because that is crucial in designing your chatbot. All right, so tips for structuring maintainable AIML code, logical category organization, structure AIML categories in a logical order to improve code quality and navigation. This is basically what I was just speaking on, mapping out your conversation. Response reuse with, so we'll reuse responses effectively by employing the tag to reduce dependency and maintenance effort. Use comments and proper indentation to make AIML files readable and easy to update. So key takeaways for future chatbot projects, start simple. Begin chatbot projects with basic functionality to ensure clarity and ease of development, because you can always build out something more complex once you have the original functionality working as intended. All right, so frequent testing, test chatbots regularly to identify issues and improve functionality progressively. Incremental complexity, gradually add features and complexity to build advanced chatbot capabilities effectively. And understanding the AIML basics. Mastering AIML and chatbot logic is essential for creating intelligent and responsive bots. So a conclusion here is, my conclusion, your journey begins here. So chatbot fundamentals, understand basic concepts. It's essential for building effective chatbots that meet user needs. Conversation structuring, designing clear and logical conversation improves the chatbot's interaction quality. Response techniques, crafting appropriate and helpful responses enhances user engagement and satisfaction. And the best practices, follow best practices, ensures your chatbot is reliable and user friendly. All right, and so now that I've gone through all of these slides, let me fix my camera real quick. I want to show you a quick code snippet, and then in the next video we're going to actually build out a chatbot. But here I want to show you something. I want to learn you something. So here, when we're talking about the categories, right? So you have, when you have a category, you have two main parts that are always required in that category. And that's the pattern and then the template. Okay. So these are things that you're always going to have. And it's going to look something like this: category. And our pattern, say our pattern is, what is your name? So the pattern is, what is your name? And then our template response would be, my name is here. My name is Teman. So my name is Teman. Now, here's an example where we use the I gotta get my other lights. Where we use the SRAI to navigate to a pattern that we already have. So we use that same category template, right? And then now our pattern is, who are you? And the template for this, we're going to use this SRAI tag that's going to map to what is your name pattern, which is what is your name here. And so this response would still give, my name is Teman, based on this pattern, what is your name, matching to this pattern, based off of this, what the input of the person, someone put in. So this is just one way in which you can have someone saying, like, if they're talking to your chatbot and they say, what is your name, or who are you, or what do you do, you can have it templated to call back different patterns based on what you want its response to be. But anyway, that's all we got for this video here. We'll get it into a little bit more in the upcoming video. We'll actually build out a chatbot. And yes, thank you for watching.